In Mannheim, Germany, 1885, Karl Benz invented the gas-powered car with support from his wife and co-founders. During 1867, Benz was first inspired to create a comfortable, self-propelled vehicle after experiencing the bicycle. Initially, the idea of a horseless carriage was greeted with skepticism. The doubters were silenced after 1,200 plus of Benz automobiles had sold by 1900, and the car completely revolutionized transportation and the freedom of exploration. This is The World Put on Wheels, Karl Benz and the Invention of the Automobile by Remy. Long before Karl Benz's invention, there were many other successful or not so successful attempts on creating the automobile. In the early 15th century, Leonardo da Vinci sketched out and designed a self-propelled cart, which, similar to many of his other machine designs, were never actually built or tested until a replica reconstruction was created in 2004 by a team of engineers in Florence. In 1769, a French engineer named Nicolas Joseph Cugnot invented the very first self-propelled vehicle for the French army. It was powered by steam, and its maximum speed topped out at 2.5 miles per hour. When it ran fine but crashed into a wall, its disparagers were delighted. Between 1832 and 1839, Robert Anderson, a Scottish engineer, began to work on an electric carriage. It was powered by non-rechargeable batteries called galvanic cells. All of these inventions were very ahead of their time, but their time period didn't have the resources or knowledge for success and impact. Karl Friedrich Benz was born in Mühlberg, Germany, now Karlsruhe, on November 25, 1844. From a young age, Benz's family was very poor, especially due to the fact that his father, a railroad engineer, died when Karl was only 2 years old. Karl was able to help support for him and his mother by profiting from his deep interest in technical matters. When he was a bit older, about 23 years old, his friend named Walter stopped by and had told Karl Benz about this elegant racing machine, a bicycle, that he had just seen, and because of the person that Walter was, would not rest until he owned it. They quickly bought one, and both struggled riding at the beginning. After 14 days of trial and error, Benz had mastered it. That was the day that had prompted Karl's ambition for inventing a self-propelled vehicle. At that time, technology had begun to advance rapidly, and people were watching it happen with curiosity and ambition. The most important technological advancement for Karl Benz's invention was the creation of the internal combustion engine, invented by Nicholas Otto in 1876. In 1883, Benz established Benz & Company with the help of his partnered co-investors Max Rose and Friedrich Esslinger. This company allowed him to market his two-stroke internal combustion engine that he had previously engineered. The company succeeded, and its success allowed him to begin working on lighter engines for the purpose of inventing a horseless carriage. During his time working toward creating a self-propelled vehicle, another engineer in Germany was also working on one, and he would be one of Benz's biggest competitors on his way to invent the car, and ended up making his car the year after Benz, in 1886. His name was Gottlieb Daimler. Karl Benz was the first inventor to create the internal combustion engine-powered automobile, and he did it pretty well. He, as well as many with a similar idea before him, had doubters that believed the horseless carriage would never have a successful future, and they were right, until Karl Benz came around. Karl Benz had always had an interest and natural skill for engineering, and had been especially fascinated by the sole thought of an automobile-like contraption, which eventually drove him to inventing the automobile. On an early date in 1885, Mannheim, Germany, he ran his first car. It consisted of 3 wheels made of wire with rubber tiles and a 2-cycle, 1-cylinder internal combustion engine. Afterwards, on January 29, 1886, Ben officially received his patent for his automobile. Initially, his invention didn't have much of an impact, other than on his personal peers. Many of his peers were very proud or mildly impressed, but didn't believe in the future of his invention. In 1888, the same year that his wife Bertha Benz made her famous drive, he made his first sale to a Parisian woman named Emile Roger. That same year, he also hired about 50 workmen to build more of his 3-wheeled car. Little did Karl Benz know that his invention would completely change the world forever. Karl Benz's wife, Bertha Benz, is one of the major parts of Karl Benz's success and widespread influence on the world. Bertha Benz not only provided financial, emotional, and even hands-on support for Karl Benz, but also spread the word, or better yet, sight, of her husband's invention. Right after Karl Benz's invention, people were beyond skeptical about his horseless carriage. Most, if not all, of that skepticism disappeared after August 5, 1888. On a very early morning, Bertha Benz and her two sons, Richard and Eugene Benz, took off on a trip on Karl's automobile without his knowledge. She left him a note announcing that she would be leaving to go see her mother, who lived in the town of Pforzheim. They had made it to Pforzheim in approximately 13 hours with improvised repairs along the way. After many people from all over Germany had seen or heard word of the drive, the world of transportation had been completely changed forever. Everybody that saw reacted with fascination and awe. There were very few doubters after the trip. In 1893, he began to work on making a four-wheeled car, which Gottlieb Daimler made during his first successful automobile invention just 7 years earlier. Benz & Company became the #1 automobile manufacturer by 1900 and had sold over 1,200 automobiles. In 1926, Gottlieb Daimler's company, Daimler Motor and Gesellschaft, and Benz & Company merged, making Daimler-Benz AG. By then, all of the negative and doubtful reactions and assumptions about the automobile and the future of the automobile had completely disappeared. Benz & Company and Daimler Motor and Gesellschaft were some of the biggest car companies. Shortly after that, it was renamed to Mercedes-Benz after Mercedes Jelinek. Mercedes Jelinek was the daughter of an automobile entrepreneur, Emil Jelinek, who marketed many of Daimler's cars. Mercedes-Benz started and continues to impress with the automobile industry all the time with their innovative and original designs. One of the most revolutionary car designs is the Ford Model T, which completely changed cars, their price, and how they're manufactured. The Ford Model T, engineered by Henry Ford, was lighter, more simple, more durable, and easier to manufacture. It allowed many more people, especially within the growing middle class, to afford an automobile, once thought only possible for rich men. Many people thought this was awesome and almost too good to be true. With the rise of the automobile came many societal changes. The invention of the automobile gave people the option and opportunity of personal transportation and freedom, led to further development of roads, as well as the rise of leisure activities. Many new, accessible services popped up as well, such as hotels, motels, restaurants, fast food, and even amusement parks. The automobile even led to the freedom of women. When World War I started, many women had to take over men's jobs, and driving gave them the opportunity and freedom to easily access it. Women earned the freedom to vote as well, with help from cars. Women drove around protesting, giving speeches, showing banners, and even making long trips across the states to spread the idea and demonstrate their strength. Automobile racing had also begun to gain popularity very quickly in the mid-20th century, with the rise of Le Mans in 1906, National Association for Stock Car Auto Racing, NASCAR, in 1947, a Formula One car championship in 1955, and many more such as the drag, rally, and Grand Prix races. The automobile hasn't been all good, however. The automobile is one of the biggest causes of air pollution, has killed well over 60 million, and hurt or seriously injured about 2 billion people since their invention. Sedentary traveling is also much more common in the world, leading to more cases of cardiovascular diseases, respiratory diseases, and even cancer. It is also a large cause of social isolation. The air pollution that the internal combustion-powered car causes has led people to create hybrids and EVs, which are a more environmentally friendly version of the modern gasoline engine. They are powered by electricity or a hybrid of both. Today in the modern world, the car is the pinnacle of transportation in most lives. There are hundreds of car brands with even more supporters. So why is Karl Benz and the invention of the automobile so important? Benz made many cars throughout his life, gave rise to Mercedes-Benz in the automobile industry, and pioneered easy personal transportation. The car also led to freedom and rights for women through protests with the help of cars and easy access to jobs that needed operating during World War I. Leisure activities and services also took off because of cars, adding happiness and enjoyment to every day. Overall, Karl Benz's invention of the automobile in 1885 completely and permanently revolutionized the world of transportation and travel.